everyone, and welcome to the September Price Know-How Snippet. Here with me is Mike Boswell, Managing Director of Plastibution, and joining us remotely is Ian Chisnell, Product Manager for Polyolefins. Mike's going to start us off by talking about the fundamentals that have been affecting polymer feedstock and polymer prices. Over to you, Mike.
Thanks, Catherine. So starting with oil price, so it's been pretty stable, actually, a bit up and down, but we came into August with a price of about £615 a tonne, and that's almost exactly where it sits today. And that was actually the average price for August as well. So, and again, today I think oil price is less relevant for polymer producers and polymer converters than probably energy costs in terms of gas and electricity, and those are well publicised at the moment. And clearly a big concern for both polymer producers who are seeing a reduction in price, and also for polymer converters, although reduction in polymer price may be coming at a good time for polymer converters to try and offset some of those increases in energy costs. Probably the breaking news at the moment really relates to exchange rates. And we've seen a couple of things going on here. So anybody who follows the dollar euro will have noted that actually it went to parity and then sub-parity for the euro, which is unprecedented territory. And also the pound has hit a 4-year low against the US dollar. So we've gone down from an average exchange rate of 120 in August to about 115 today. So that's 4%. And bearing in mind how many polymers and how increasingly polyethylene is US dollar related, that brings about 4% cost inflation to buyers in sterling when materials are priced in dollars. So interesting times ahead. Certainly the monomer market's been pretty volatile, and I'm going to hand over to Ian now, who's going to try and take us through what are some pretty dramatic changes in monomer costs. So Ian, over to you.
Many thanks, Mike. So much bigger drops in monomers for both C2 and C3 going into September than was expected. I think largely driven by naphtha being very readily available and sort of dropping in price, relative to oil. So propylene C3 dropped to €165 down to €1,230 a tonne. C2 ethylene dropped €120 down to $13.05. And again, the gap between ethylene and propylene got slightly wider, again, because of the downstream use and differences in the supply-demand balance of those. It's a bit early to say how this is going to impact onto polypropylene and polyethylene pricing. Initial indications, so quite early in the month, are that full increase is going to be resisted quite strongly by the major producers. So looking at decreases on polyethylene somewhere in the region of sort of 60 to 90 euros, and reductions in the region of 90 to 120 euros on polypropylene. Lots of talk about reducing run rates. Dow made an official announcement of a 15% cut to global PE production, and they specifically cited weak demand in Europe as one of the reasons for that. Whilst not officially announced, many of the other producers are doing likewise, and not necessarily reported, but 20, 25 and even 30% reductions in output have been rumoured within the industry. It's basically because there's a significant oversupply situation, and they need to sort of address this to get it back in balance, so that whilst we hope to see an uptick in demand in September as people return from holidays, we're still in a situation of oversupply. That's largely driven by China. So China, with their zero COVID policy, they're having a very stop-start economy. And as the globe is facing potential recession, the demand for goods out of China is reducing. So recent reports based on data of the year so far are that LLDP demand in China is down 4%, HD is down 4%, LD 3%, and polypropylene 2%. Small numbers as a percentage, but with the amount that China takes, that's a lot of polymer, which is not being used by one of the major users and importers. So it's difficult times, challenging times. We will hopefully see some balance return soon, but you can expect to see your polymer prices drops again in September. Thanks very much.
Thanks very much, Ian. Thanks very much, Mike. As usual, we'll be putting out further information in our main price know-how around the middle of the month. But if you have any questions in the meantime, then either myself, Mike or Ian would be delighted to help you. Please get in touch. Thanks very much for listening.